All right. Good afternoon, my crypto brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Chef, and welcome to the daily broadcast here, 4 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, the 1st of June, 2021. And we are dealing with the current crypto situation. Now, well, first of all, let me just say some people have asked if they could ask questions about other things, knowing that the doctorate is in theology. I have a PhD in theology, that's why it's Dr. Chef, and then 39 years in the field as a chef. So, sure. I mean, ask me anything, anytime. So I guess it's AMAA, asking me anything, anytime. Emails down below, or you can put it in the comments. I'm just getting started at this stuff. I've been doing it a while, but I'm just getting started with the whole YouTube thing. So please like and subscribe and all that stuff because I'd like to do this for more than one person. I'm doing it mostly for friends right now. So anyway, Dr. Chef. So obviously, based on that, that should tell you that I am not a financial analyst. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not official legal advice or anything like that. This is just entertainment and education purposes only. But we have a discussion to have, and I want to walk you through what's happening and give you some alternatives for the outlook. So, as you can see here on our lovely chart, we are not looking so great. Now, first of all, do notice that right here is the all-time high, and from here to here is only a couple months. So that's not the end of the world for sure. What does it mean? Different story. So we'll talk about it. But look at this. Look at this drop right here. Remember this? So all-time high is here, right? April 13, 65,000 basically. Boom. Bottom drops out. This is April 25th. And then pow, back up, right? So look at this. Look at this pattern. Full drop. Super scary. Look at this day. My goodness. 417. Blah, blah. Went all the way from over 60 to almost 50, right? Crazy day right here. Pops back up, going down. We get here, and we are under 50. Under 50. So we went from about 65 to just a $15,000 per Bitcoin decline. Then boom, it starts to come back up, zigging, zagging, higher highs, higher lows, padow, back up to over 50, flirting with 60, right? Flirting with 60 right here. And then we do one of these, and now this. So the first thing I want to point out is this. The distance from up here at 60 and down here in the low 30s, this time frame is approximately the same time frame as this. So we did not see this exact pattern, but look how close that part is to that. Are you looking at that? Fascinating. Okay, what's been happening since here? So right now, this day, these 2 days right here are basically, this is 18, 19, 20 of May. So major drop, this is when the bottom drops out. This is 12 May. Bottom drops out all the way down into the 40s from near 60. Boom. And then drop, 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 drop. Red candle, red candle, red candle. We hate you. Oh my goodness. And then little pop. Boom. Now this is where we start running into trouble. Right here. Okay, what is this? This is where some resistance that nobody really knew existed gets established, right? Why would we have that when we've got all this? Why would there suddenly be a resistance level here? 40 to 42, this little band, right? Just imagine I draw a band on there. 40 to 42. We hit it, drop down, come back up, hit it, drop down, come back up, hit it, drop down. Okay. Now this part right here, of course, is problematic because it looks like we're not going back up as high, right? You can see this is very problematic pattern. There's some rising, but it never gets quite as high. So we've got lower highs, we've got lower lows. Ooh, scary, right? It'll pop up here. And here we are sitting today. Now, obviously, this is problematic because this period here is 512. Today is 6-1. So we're over a 2-week period in this slump right now. So I can understand why a lot of people are panicking. Now, what is going on? What is going on? Here is my analysis. Here's what I think is going on. Feel free to mock me mercilessly in the chats and the comments, but this is what I think is happening. Obviously, you can draw a triangle on this, right? You can see there's some issues. What do I think is happening? Well, I've got 3 possibilities that I want to outline today as the daily analysis on the 1st of June. First of all, this could be the beginning of a long-term bear market. I hate to say it, I'm very bullish. I'm a bull. I basically should have horns. I mean, I hate talking about bears. I mean, even though I do have a distillery called Black Bear, but anyway, not a bearish guy as a rule. Not the kind of guy that likes to talk about that. Very positive, uplifting person. But could it be that this entire pattern right here, that this whole thing is indeed a bear market, that we're going into one and we're going to keep dropping? Yes, it could. It could mean that. I'm sorry. I hate to say that, but that's possibility number 1, that it could mean that. How do we know that? Keeps dropping. Keeps dropping. Get some consolidation, some flat lines, drop some more, flirts a little bit. The way we're going to know that is over the next month. We're never going to break 40 again. 40, 42, that's going to be the new, resistance. And it's going to go down, possibly into the 20s, possibly the same, as it was last year. That would be a massive collapse, a massive bear market, and that would be really bad. What do we do if that happens? We buy it on the way down, we buy lows, we hold, we wait. What's the second option? Well, the second option is a very complicated one, but I'm going to try to summarize it because this is a range, right? And this could be ranging out. This could be consolidating into this like kind of straight line for weeks, months, years, okay? It could be doing that. What would that mean? Well, what that would mean is that the macro pattern that has existed for a decade has been constricted and collapsed. Let me just explain real quick. The way it works is you have a Bitcoin halving, usually in a flat period. Then that halving creates an explosion and a big climb, rockets to the moon, new everything, new all-time highs. Everybody's having parties. Now that lasts for usually until the big high peak is the end of the year after the halving. And we haven't even reached that yet. That'd be later this year. The halving was last year. So later this year would be when our big high peak was supposed to be. So that means that if this stays flat, then it means that that's what the next year was that's supposed to be what the end of 23, the end of 22 into 23 looks like, right? 2023. That's what that's supposed to look like. So that means that this whole thing's been constricted and contracted. That's completely possible because everything has changed about this market. I mean, the number of people in it, the market caps, the craziness, the tweets, the politics. I mean, this has been a maddening year. Really powerful dips and swings and ups and downs. Maybe it's a new pattern. And what that means is this whole thing has been collapsed. Now, if that's true, then we are in the post spike after the halving. And that's bad news because it means that that whole thing that happened at the beginning of the year was the spike, and we did have a spike, but that all that, December through March, April timeframe, that all that stuff was the spike that was supposed to be at the end of this year. And that means that it collapsed the whole system down, and we're in the basically consolidation, flatline, conservative phase after the spike, after the halving. This is faster than it's ever happened. It's actually a year in advance. It's way, way fast. That means that we're going to have to recalculate everything. We're in uncharted territory. We don't know what's going to happen. And we all need to pray and hope with all our hearts that that's not going on, because if that has to wait now until the next halving's in 2024. So you would be literally sitting around in a ranging flat zone for 3 years. And I don't know what that's going to do to the market or the people and the psychology. It's going to be a whole lot of craziness. People driving Ferraris off their piers in Dubai. It's going to be crazy. So I don't know. I hope that's not what's going on. We're going to know that, though, because either this is going to go up or down, or it's going to stay flat. If this thing goes between 30 and 40, like that 35 up to 40, that little bouncy range, 30 to 40, if it stays in that for a couple more weeks, that's exactly what we're looking at. And that's just crazy. But what happens after that? And the answer is we don't know, because that's way too soon. That's a year too soon. If the macro pattern holds, that's a year too soon. So it means the macro pattern has now been broken. The main tracking systems that have been in existence for 10 years are now broken. And we're on a whole new playing field. And who knows what that means? It could mean tweets are running the show. It could mean everything collapses and we get another. So the halving itself is controlled. We can predict it because, give or take, because the way it works. So we know how that mining is going to go. So it shouldn't shift that hard, but will we get several microcycles inside? Maybe they become bigger microcycles. This is new. So we've got to track all this and figure it all out. Okay, that's number 2. So number 1 was we're entering into a bear market. This is going to continue down. We're going to know that in the next couple of weeks as it continues down. We'll be in the 20s in a week or two if that's true. Okay? Or we've entered into this consolidation period, this flat line, could last weeks, months, even years. It's the post spike after the halving, coming a year early. That's horrifying. We don't want that to happen. We're going to know that because it's going to stay bouncing between 30 and 40 for weeks to come. And then we're going to know. We don't know what happens after that, but we're going to know that. And finally, there's number 3, and this is what we're praying for. Everybody pray with me. Okay, please let this be the one. Please let this be the one. We want it to be this one. We want it to be number 3. And number 3 is that this is an extended dip on our way back up. That's what we want it to be. because the macro pattern would hold. We would see all-time highs at the end of this year. In between, we could see anything, any kind of dips, rises, any kind of action. So let's say this is an extended lull before the explosion all the way through 40, 42, all the way through 60s, and maybe 100,000 by the end of the year. A lot of people have said they thought we would see 100,000 by the end of the year, and maybe we will still see that or more, right? Maybe we'll still see that. How are we going to know that? That's that 40, 42 band of resistance. If we go start climbing tomorrow, next week, whatever it is, we start climbing out of this hole and we break through that resistance level, buckle up. If you turn on your computer, a week from now in the morning and it's 43, 45,000 on Bitcoin, we broke it. Now we're headed up. Buckle up, because we're going to 75 or 100,000 by the end of the year. The macro pattern has held. Be prepared to do what you need to do on the changeover between 21 and 22, because that'll be the peak if the macro pattern holds. It'll fall off in 22. By the end of 22, we'll be on a flat signal going through 23, waiting for the next halving if the macro pattern holds. So what we want is that, because we want to see another big spike before we settle in for a little winter nap. But that's what's supposed to happen. And this is crypto. So who knows, right? But we're going to know within the next week or two which one of these patterns we're in. It's 1, 2, or 3. We want 3 to be the case. If it's 2, we need to figure out when we're going to go up again, because hopefully it's not all the way after the next halving, because that would be nuts. Very boring, very sad. And we definitely don't want a long-term bull unless we're going to jump out of it with a giant spike in a few months. But because none of that makes sense. That's not in any kind of original historic micro pattern. So it's all new ground. Anyway, right now we're sitting at, 36.51, right? We would have to say that we're not doing great right this second. But we'd also have to say that we're only a month and a half away from that all-time high. So a rebound is certainly in the cards. We have not dropped below these 30s, below this half line. We've not really dropped below that either. So is it going to bounce right here for weeks to come? Or are we going to explode out? Stay tuned. I think it's an extended trough. Everybody's balding, everybody's got their positions, and we explode, and by the end of the year, we're at all-time highs. That's my personal prognostication. But like I said, it's crypto. What are you in it for? Are you in it for the long haul, or are you in it because you're trying to figure out this stuff and this is fun? Are you in it to drop a few grand in there, get a quick return, 1,000x, go buy your Ferrari, do all that in a couple months, right? Not that hasn't happened for some people. Some people love, they love cute dogs, and they get confused, and then boom, Ferrari. So whatever. I love you all. This is Dr. Chef. I'm looking forward to the next move, and I'm going to keep posting, and I hope that you see a breakout here soon. If it drops on us and keeps going down, keep your pants on. Just prepare to buy and hold, because it's coming back up. This isn't going away. This is not like a fluke. It's not like, oh, wow, that was fun for, 11, 12 years. Who cares? That's not what's happening. So many great projects, so many major powerhouse coins, so many organizations coming in line, so much blockchain development. This is not a fluke. This is not a fad. This is a real thing. And this BTC, this whole Bitcoin, this whole Ethereum, Litecoin, all those things are going to continue to rise, whether we get it now or in a couple years, it's not going away. So if you get some really serious lows, buy the heck out of it and just hang tight. That's my advice. Like I said, not official financial advice, not an official financial advisor. Chef, yes. Theologian, yes. Crazy person, probably, but not a financial advisor. But that's what I think is going on. We're going to keep talking, and hopefully we're going to see like a pow in the next few days. All right? Thank you, guys. Dr. Chef signing off.